I don't know if you can hear me, but I made it across. It's really bad here, Verlaine. I think there's something here.
Alien Isolation follows Amanda Ripley, daughter of Ellen Ripley, as she searches for answers surrounding the disappearance of her mother following the loss of the Nostromo. Her search leads her to the decommissioned space station, the Sevastopol, where she encounters a deadly alien so scary, so fierce, it has massacred the station's inhabitants. Alien Isolation is a first-person survival horror stealth game developed by Creative Assembly and published by Sega and released on October 7th, 2014. And welcome back, guys, to Leo Gaming. And yes, today I am doing a review for one of my favourite survival horror games of all time, Alien Isolation. Yes, I have had this game on the 360, the Xbox One, and now I am playing it on the Xbox Series X with the FPS Boost. So without further ado, let's jump straight into this review. So we're going to start off with the visuals, guys, and oh my god, this game is absolutely stunning. This is far better and superior than most modern day games you get, the garbage that comes out nowadays. Especially now with this FPS Boost on the Series X, the picture is crisp, clear, stunning and detailed. The detail that's gone into replicating the environment from the first Alien film is absolutely phenomenal. You've also got the lighting effects are absolutely amazing. The fire effects are absolutely fantastic, and it all combines, especially with the dark, the light, and then you get the fire effects that come in along with the smoke and the mist effects, all within this environment that recreate it to a T. I mean, you only have to look at that fire effect there. Absolutely fantastic, and it really gives you that sense of being in space and alone, as it were. I mean, the lighting is absolutely fantastic on this game. It shines from it. The amount of lighting they've used, you've got light fixtures, you've got natural light, you've got man-made light, you've got all sorts of light. I mean, have a look at this. As the Torrens goes past, look at that. It gives the game that absolute brilliant a feel to it, along with the ambience of the environment itself. It's absolutely fantastic. I mean, in terms of, you do get the option of a film grain at the start of the game, which I switch off. I can't stand film grain and motion. You don't get motion blur in this, but in all games I hate motion blur. This has film grain, which I whack off straight away. I can't stand film grain and motion blur. Absolutely does my head in. The environments you're going to be in are going to be, you're in Sevastopol Station and the Torrens, the Torrens is the spaceship you arrive on. The Sevastopol Station is the space station in which you are exploring. There is a section which comes out of that into a planet for exploration, but I won't give away too much detail on that because that's part of the story, in case you haven't already played it. So you do get a break from the sort of the spaceship look. But yeah, apart from that, I would say this game visually is absolutely fantastic. They've nailed it. Creative Assembly have absolutely nailed it for the environment to match that of the original Alien film. Absolutely fantastic. I have got to say though, guys, the design and detail of the alien itself is so good that at any moment you spot it throughout the game, your heart starts pacing and it creates panic within the game. That's how good the actual alien looks. And in terms of the characters themselves, there's something a bit off about them. They look okay. There just seems to be something off about them which I can't pinpoint. I think that is the only letdown. There's something a bit off about how the actual characters look, which is probably a good thing that you're in first person and you don't see many human characters. So anyway, guys, that is the visuals. We are now moving on to the sound. Now, does that sound dramatic as fuck? I mean, that was just an example of some of the tense moments where the sound is made so dramatic, it's absolutely fucking incredible. I mean, the music and the sounds absolutely make this game stand out. As soon as you hear those short spikes and stab sounds, you know something is going to happen, and you're suddenly ducking and checking every direction. And I'll tell you what, sound does play a big part in this game in terms of how you actually play. Especially as you're progressing through Sevastopol, you will hear the odd shriek of the alien, which is that classic sort of distant sound of the alien. And you'll also hear the rumbles in the vents of the alien crawling around above you. And you will hear the alien as it drops out of one of the vents. You won't know where it is, but that is your cue to either hide. You've basically got to try and hide as soon as possible. So then what will happen is when you're hiding, you'll hear the alien stomping about, hunting for you, and it'll make the odd growl where it can't find you, or it's trying to hunt you down, and then you'll hear it go back up in the vents. That is then your cue to move as quickly and as quietly as possible to progress through the levels. But I tell you what, it's absolutely fantastic. The sounds and everything about it makes this game so tense. It's absolutely fantastic. You've also got to make sure, like I've just touched upon, to not make much noise while you're moving. Yes, you do not try not to make too much noise while you're moving. I found that just basically crawling everywhere works. If you walk in standing upright, he will drop down, guaranteed you. Although it's very, very, very difficult when you get an android or 4 that decide to chase you down, because when you've got more than one, you've got to use your gun, and the alien will be drawn straight to it, and you will hear the alien drop down, and you've got 4 androids, you've got an alien dropping down from somewhere, and it's like, oh no, where am I going? It's sheer panic, and but then you get the sounds, and everything just comes together. The sound is done so brilliantly in this game. It is absolutely fantastic. One of the best parts of this game. Anyway, guys, we are done with the sound. Time to move on to the mechanics. So, in this game, you get your main story mode, the main campaign, and you also get a survivor mode, which I haven't really used, which is basically challenges throughout the levels. You also get computers dotted around that are basically the collectibles. They have voice messages, emails, and sometimes they have clues as to codes for certain doors or where keys are. And you also have these, you can access these rewire points, which allow you to manipulate the environment to your advantage. Like, for example, you can add the air ventilation, which adds smoke effects, so it sort of hides you a little bit. You can turn on an alarm to attract the alien to a certain position. And you can also turn off certain camera feeds, which are linked to alarms if they see you. But all of these use at your peril, because the alien can still kill you when you're using one of these computers or one of these rewire points, because the game doesn't pause like in most games. This will continue to run. So look at these at your peril. You also get save points dotted around. They look like sort of telephones on the wall. You get like a 3-second period before it initiates. And it also warns you if any enemies are around. Now, if the alien can still catch you before this 3-second period is up. So all of these things, the alien can still kill you. And it happens many times, and suddenly you've got the alien's tail in your back, going through your spine, as you're trying to save your game. You will also pick up a motion detector that has the classic beep sound to it from the Alien films. That is sort of a lifesaver, but it sort of isn't. That, for me, I used more to basically know where I'm going in terms of my objective. I didn't really use it that much. For the only time I used it is just to know whether the alien's near. It doesn't specifically tell you where the alien's going to be or drop down. It just tells you in which direction. So I only really used it just to find out where I was going. There is a crafting system which you collect materials dotted about, which it allows you to craft things such as a medikit, noisemakers, smoke bombs, etc. Which, as you can see there, it's okay. I used it more just for the medikit. The rest of the stuff I didn't use at all. In terms of weapons, you don't get any weapons to start with, but you will have a handgun, flamethrower, and a shotgun, and a special weapon later on towards the end of the game, which is probably the best weapon, especially for the androids. It's more, the flamethrower is more for the alien. The special weapon towards the end is more for the androids. I find the androids more annoying. I find the aliens sort of fear-inducing and panicky, whereas the androids are just, I find, annoying in this game. So there is a weapon later on that you do pick up, which is best for the androids. One shot to the head and they're down. Right, guys, I'm now going to move on to the alien itself.
I hear something. I hear something.
Axel?
Fuck if I go on me.
So, where do I begin? The alien. Now, when this game was developed, Creative Assembly were hyping up the sort of AI of this alien, and oh my god, the hype was real. This alien, look, it has its own behaviours. It learns what you're doing. It reacts to what you're doing. It reacts to your noise. It reacts to where you are. It reacts to your actions. It can even spring up traps. For example, you'll be walking along and it'll be in the vent above you, and suddenly you won't even know it's there, and it will just drag you up. And it is fantastic. It's unpredictable. This alien enemy is so unpredictable. It makes this game absolutely fantastic, and it makes the game replayable because the alien is so varied in what it does in every playthrough. But it's such and the noise and just everything about it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, it really, really does make this game. You do get a few cutscene moments with these aliens. So yeah, you do get a few of these sort of cutscene moments where you know that at this point in the game, these points are going to happen. So this is the only time where the alien, you know, it's going to appear out of the vent, because it's always the same cutscene every time you play through the game. But I mean, look at it. How intense does that scene feel? When you first play it and you get that, your heart is racing. I swear down, your heart is racing. It doesn't race so much the more you play through it. But it's still such a fantastic feeling. I mean, I've played this about 10 times. I just love it so much. But that is that is the Alien, and the Alien is absolutely fantastic along with everything else about this game. In terms of gameplay, guys, there's nothing really too bad about it. You obviously you can run, you can walk, you can crawl. Now you do find you work out that crawling most of the time is the best way, but it is a little bit too slow. It can slow the game down quite rapidly, but what keeps it going is the sound. I always harp up back to the sound on this game, but it's fantastic. The game, even though you're moving slow, the game feels like it's still progressing quite rapid with just the sound alone. And in terms of the crawling, the running, the moving about is quite easy. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no problems. There's no jumping and stuff like that. You're not traversing up boxes and ledges and stuff like that. It's none of that. It's just, it doesn't need it. It does not need it at all. Firing the weapons is a little bit twitchy, especially the handgun. Firing that is a bit dodgy. The flamethrower is easy enough because I think the Alien, you only have to shoot it at the Alien as a whole, whereas the Android, you try and shoot it in the head, and it's a bit wobbly. It reminds me of the way she holds the handgun. Actually, reminds me of. Do you remember the Trespasser game years ago? I think '97 it came out, or '99, and it was you had that wobbly arm when you held a weapon on Trespasser on the PC. Yeah, that's what it kind of feels like when you're holding the handgun a little bit. But apart from that, guys, the gameplay, I think there's nothing wrong with it. It's just you're moving about, stealthing about, trying to avoid the Alien. And there's not much to it really in terms of gameplay. I've kind of covered everything in terms of mechanics. So yeah, I would say that, you know, gameplay wise is fantastic, absolutely brilliant. So as a summary, guys, I would say that this game for me is actually one of the best games in the last 10 years. It should have got much more credit than it actually got. It didn't sell as well as Sega had hoped. It didn't sell that many copies, but for some reason, a lot of it was to do with some big company reviews, people who know what I'm talking about, that really screwed it over a little bit. They really obviously didn't understand the game at all, and they gave it a bad review, and it didn't sell as well as it should have done. I mean, years later, a lot of people have sort of cottoned on to how good this game was, but the problem is Sega, I was so hoping for a sequel. This warrants a sequel, but I'm afraid I don't think we're going to get it because Sega don't see it as a good investment. Instead, we're going to get crappy multiplayer Alien Fireteam shooter ones, which are just a load of crap. It's just another shooter on the market. You can tell I don't like multiplayer shooters. I'm sorry guys, but there's just too many multiplayer shooters that they seem to be turning everything into an online multiplayer shooter. I don't want that. I want these single player experiences. That's what I want. Not these, just especially the Alien game. This needs a sequel. Come on, Sega. Creative Assembly. I don't know if Creative Assembly is still around now. Well, anyway, Sega, come on, bring back, do an Alien Isolation 2, not in comic book form or anime cartoon, an actual full-blown game. That's what we want. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. This is more one of my sort of passion games reviews. So you might have heard me say fantastic, brilliant, and superb quite a bit. But I just absolutely love this game. I can replay it every sort of I could just replay it so many times. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you do like my content, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button on your screen right now, and also click that notification button to stay bang up to date. And don't forget to check out my previous video on Mad Max. Oh yeah, Mad Max. It's up on your screen right now. Love you all. Goodbye.